What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie290 coming at your levels again through the power of the internet. And let me ask you a very personal question. When was the last time you went into a Blockbuster? I mean a GameStop. Because Northwest Arkansas used to have 5 GameStops. A couple years back we were down to 3. Now we're currently down to 2. And I thought, I should go to a GameStop for the first time since I picked up my Xbox Series X and document it for my YouTube channel, because I feel like these stores won't be around forever. And if you stick around in the video, I'll show you what their competition looks like, and you can understand why GameStop is not doing as well as it should be in Northwest Arkansas. I'll show you what a real game store looks like. Well, let's step into this GameStop and see what's going on. So of the 2 stores we have left in Northwest Arkansas, this is what I presume to be the ritzier one, because it's in the nicer area of town. And it does have a fairly decent, used video game section with some new video games as part of it as well. Decent controller selection, as well as some used consoles. I was a little surprised to see all of the printer paper that has been used to create signs on the cheap. You'd think corporate would be doing something more like that, but they are eye-catching. I did think it was weird that this section's half empty with just a few games on it, but they definitely made room for plenty of toys. I really like this Spawn figure, but I'm confused as to why they had it, because there's not a Spawn movie or show out right now that I'm aware of. I was not surprised to see this Five Nights at Freddy's stuff though. That makes a lot of sense, because I imagine a lot of parents are here at this mall with their kids, and this seems like something they would pick up as a, impulse buy. Back to the video game section. A lot of headphones, a lot of controllers, not a lot of games. I mean, I guess this is reasonably stocked for a PlayStation section, and there are some used games as well. Then there was the new releases section, which, does go to show you there are still some good games getting stocked for physical collecting. There's also t-shirts, and I've never been interested in their t-shirts, but again, they don't fit me. But again, tons of collectibles, and a lot of the stuff is not licenses I'm even that particular familiar with. I'm not coming to a GameStop to get a hat. I'm not coming to GameStop to get shirts. I don't want a WWE wrestling figure. I want video games. And this place does still have a handful of games, but it is so surprising just how many collectibles they have. But it is good to know that if I still need a controller, I can go in and pick up some Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering cards at the same time as well. And obviously they do have Xboxes and PlayStations in stock as well. And then, of course, my favorite section of any GameStop, this is where pop vinyls go to die. Every time I go into one of these stores, they have so many on clearance, almost as if they're just trying to get rid of them. Buy 1, get 1 free, buy 2, get 1 free, buy 1, get 3 free. And they have some of the weirder, stuff as well. This League of Legends plastic toy was on clearance. I'm not particularly sure who's buying that. I understand why it's on clearance. Most of the stuff that's on clearance, I'm not sure who's picking this up. Even the clearance prices seem to be more expensive than what you would pay online or at Amazon. But at least, if you're looking to make a deal, they'll make you a deal on this massive pop vinyl, I guess. Met the guy running the shop. Really nice to me. He was a fan of my old YouTube channel, my old videos, Francis and stuff back in the day. Thought that was awesome, but it gives you an idea of why I don't go into the stores too much anymore. It's a lot of stuff that I'm not interested in. Really light on the games, really heavy on the merch. League of Legends, Five Nights at Freddy's, DC figures, Dragon Ball, just not for me. But maybe the other store has stuff more along the lines of what I'm into, so let's go check out the Fayetteville store. I loved that this place had a playable Nintendo Switch kiosk, but then they were also really set up for PC gaming, whether you needed, mice or keyboards or even laptops. They had a ton of this stuff ready for PC gaming, and I do feel like that's a smart choice. They also had a very large PlayStation section. This first section is about the size as you found at the other store, but then there's the PlayStation kiosk as well as, just twice the stuff, twice the games, twice the accessories as the other store. Of course, this place has to have its pop vinyls as well. They have their nice little graveyard for pop vinyls where they're always on clearance, including the Dragon Ball Z giant one. You can pick that one up here as well. The Nintendo Switch had a huge section though. Switch games don't take up a lot of space. So it was really nice to see a ton of games and a ton of accessories for it, especially considering it's pretty late in its life cycle. I also really like that golden controller. The Xbox had a good setup too, and I didn't want to get too close because they were unboxing stuff over here and I just didn't want to get in their way and be obnoxious, but the Switch also had its own little display and kiosk, and you can pick up the Switch Lite and the OLED Switch and stuff. And of course, this place had its toys and its clearance toys as well. And I felt like some of the toys that were here I was a little more interested in. A little bit of anime stuff, a little bit of Dragon Ball Z, but also some of the licenses I'm slightly more familiar with, even though I wouldn't be crazy about it. I did like the Boglins until I checked the price on clearance. That's still $35. But the clearance section had some interesting stuff. Nothing I was going to jump for. I often wonder why these places don't sell more board games. There's always like one or two floating around, but I feel like with bookstores closing down and game stores not always carrying those types of things, I feel like they should. Also, who's picking up these Miss Marvel bands for $113? Just let me tell y'all, if you haven't gone into a GameStop in a while, the people working there are just happy and nice these days. I don't know what it is. They want to talk about stuff. They want to chew your ear off. I think they want to sell product, obviously memberships and all the other upsell stuff, but they just seem like to be some of the nicest people. Damn, maybe that's not always like that everywhere, but Northwest Arkansas, y'all doing something right. So you probably don't have these outside of Arkansas, but we are lucky enough to have this local chain called Vintage Stock. Music, movies, videos, games, and more. Not so much on the music anymore, but that gives you an idea how long they've been around. Yeah, walking into the store, I regret making fun of the music part because they have a huge music section. I'm not sure who's still collecting CDs, but when it comes to the vinyls, I know there's tons of collectors out there. And I don't know if these are good prices or bad prices or not, but the DVD section is also massive. Tons of Blu-rays, tons of boxed sets. I know people are into VHS tapes these days, and I was expecting to see some of those, but I guess people are also collecting DVDs because they had 4 or 5 rows of DVDs, including kids sections, adult sections, modern movies, just huge stuff. And you want to talk about a pop vinyl graveyard. They have a little bit of everything. If you're looking to collect these things, I feel like this might be the place to come for sure. Because number one, they have a lot priced to move. But they have them hidden kind of everywhere. Amongst all of these, what are these Skylander pieces? And also there's these anime figures. A little bit of trading card supplies as well. The trading card section used to be so much bigger here. Used to be able to get storage boxes and stuff. I loved that, but can't really do that anymore. But they also have a toy section, but less so than GameStop in a lot of ways. And that used to be one of their biggest claims to fame, is that they would buy your old toys and sell them to other people who would love them. And of course, their comic section used to be way bigger, but it's nice that they still have a comic section. And I remember when older comics went for just a ridiculous amount of money. But most of these were priced very reasonably, $2.99, $3.99. I know you can read all of this stuff online. Trade paperbacks, more pop vinyls, and more figures. Some of your childhood is definitely hanging in this store, though. They are definitely nostalgia bait. If there's something you loved, it's still here. And getting into the video game section, tons of controllers for you to use, some more DVDs and stuff like that. But then we're getting into PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. It's all here. That whole section there is video games. But I had to pop in and take a look at the trading card section. They have up-to-date trading card packs, and they're all pretty much at retail. You're not going to get much of a discount here if you choose to buy them here, but I feel like they're mostly impulse buys. The Pokemon section's kind of nice as well. But back to the video games. They do have some of the more modern stuff, including PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. All of that is available as well. But it's nice to see some of the older game systems available. You'll see in a second there's even like Game Boy Advance games, which I just think is so cool. Or these DS games. I think these are DS games. It's been a while since I played one. And sure, they do have the collectibles and junk as well. And a lot of these used games, you'll see, some of them are true junk. Like there are Skylanders and old sports titles. That is not junk though. That's Wind Waker for GameCube. That's a collector's piece for sure. They even have Wii Fit boards, which, you just can't get rid of. But I think it's kind of cool that they bought them from people. At least they're setting here somewhere in case somebody wants one for $10. And of course, they've got to have the enemy section. Used systems, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, even, is that an old NES or SNES Advantage up there? Oh, and look at all these new comic books they have that need to get stocked. I thought that was really cool. Oh, and if you pick up some old retro games, they have the Retron systems. I don't know if these are any good, but I don't know play with old cartridges. And that has been in stock. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't been in there in a little while, but I'm still impressed. But boy, they have really upped their DVD game. I couldn't believe how much it was music and DVDs. Maybe I just walked past that all the time because it's not something I collect or am interested in. The video game section, not as big as I remember. Trading card section, definitely smaller, but still nice to have that option in town, and there's plenty of nostalgia there for old heads like us. So, as always, guys, hope you enjoyed the tour of my little town. More up and getting out and doing stuff. But as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you when I get home. But for now, I'm gonna go play Diablo.